Alright, hi guys. We have our next lesson. Sorry you aren't with us, but you're gonna crush this lesson right now. Our last lesson that we had before the formative was about solving equations that required distribution and combining like terms. Today we're going to talk about how to solve equations that have variables on both sides. So when they do have a variable on both sides, you have to make a decision about which variable to move. That'll work. You have to make a decision about which variable to move. Now, ultimately, you're going to get the same answer, so it doesn't matter, but there are ways and techniques to pick the better variable to make sure you're not dealing with as many negatives. So, questions to ask yourself when you're solving for a variable, like after today, since we've learned so many. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, can you simplify either one side or both sides by using distribution or combining like terms? Before we solve, that's always what we want to do. We want to simplify it and bring it down to as like simple, condensed as possible. And then we can check for variables on both sides. So I'm going to start by just doing this first question here on this example, and then we'll move on to question 2. So we have, can I simplify either one or both sides of the equation by distributing or combining like terms? Well, I don't see any parentheses, so I can't distribute. And then remember that in our equal sign, when we rewrite our equations, we draw the line down, and that's like a wall here. So I can't combine things across the equal sign. Like I can't say 5x and 3x gives me 8x. I have to just stick on my left side and on my right side. So over here, there's nothing to combine. Over here, there's nothing to combine. So question 1 is taken care of. The next question is, do I have variables on both sides of my equal sign? I have an x on my left side and an x on my right side. So the answer is yes. So when they are on both sides, you're going to move all terms with variables to one side of the equal sign, all terms without variables to the other side of the equal sign. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do that using inverse operations, just like we've been using. Well, remember when we've isolated variables, if I have like a +3, I would subtract 3 over from both sides. We can move our variables the same way. So I could move my 5x to over here, or I can move my 3x over here. Now this is the trick for like making a decision about which one to move. If you have a smaller positive one, that's the one you want to move, because if I subtract 3x from both sides, these cancel and I get a positive 2x. I'm going to quickly erase this. If I moved the 5 and took 5x away from both sides, those cancel, but 3 minus 5 gives me -2. So if you move the smaller positive one, that's going to give you a positive, like overall. So again, we're going to subtract 3x from both sides. These cancel because they're inverses, and I get 2x minus 3 equals 9. And then now you guys should know how to solve this. Y'all are pros at this. So now that we've gotten our variables on one side, the last question is the variable isolated? And the answer is no. So now we can go ahead and do that. We have 2x minus 3. We get rid of subtraction and addition first. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides, since the opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. Those cancel, and I get 2x equals 12. This is 2 times x, so I can divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 6. All right, if you need time to get that written down, go ahead and pause me and finish filling out this example. Otherwise, we're going to move on. So if you need to pause me, go ahead and do so, and then come back and join me. I'm going to work through these 2 examples, and then you're going to try these 2 on your own. All right, so let's go ahead and do it. Example 2 here. I'm going to just talk through the questions and we'll solve it. First question is, can I simplify by distributing or combining like terms? Again, let's draw that line down the equal sign. On my left side, I see I have a number outside of parentheses, so I can distribute. 3 times b is 3b. 3 times 6 is 18. Equals, there's no parentheses over here. All right, on my left side, there's nothing I can combine. On my right side, there's nothing I can combine. So now I can go ahead and move on to section 2. Both sides are now simplified. Question 2 was, do I have variables on both sides? If yes, move them to one side, move my numbers to the other side. So I have, see, yep, a b on this side and a b on this side, so I'm going to subtract them over. Again, if you have positive b's, you want to move the smallest one. So I'm going to subtract 3b from both sides because this is a positive 3b. So I'm going to subtract 3b since that's the opposite. The inverses cancel, and I get 18 equals 4b minus 3b gives me 1b minus 1. Now I got to get my numbers to one side. I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add 1. And then I get 19 equals b, or 1b, but you can just say b. And there's my answer. Again, go ahead and pause me if you need to. I'm going to move right on to the next one. Draw my line down my equal sign. Okay, question 1. Can I simplify either side? All right, I have a set of parentheses here, so I'm going to start with distributing. 4 times 2x is 8x, minus 4 times 3 is 12, and then I have a minus x that I need to draw on down. Remember, that doesn't do anything with the parentheses because it's outside, so we just draw it down, and then x plus 42. Okay, so we distributed. Now we check to combine like terms. On my left side, I have an x term here and a negative x here. Again, that sign matters. So 8x minus x is going to give me 7x. I have minus 12 equals x and 42. There's nothing I can combine, so I'm going to just rewrite that down here. Okay, now we've simplified. Next step, number 2, is to move my variables to one side and then my numbers to the other side. Between a 7 and a 1x, the 1 is smaller, so I'm going to move that by subtracting x from both sides. Those cancel. 7x minus x is going to be 6x. Now I'm going to get my numbers to one side. I got to move my subtraction and addition first. The opposite of subtract 12 is to add 12. Inverses cancel. I get 6x equals 2 and 2 is 4. 54. And then 6 times x, so I'm going to divide both sides times 6. Those cancel, and I get x equals 9. Okay, so we've done kind of 3 different scenarios here. We've done one where there was no simplifying needed. We just had to get our variables to one side and then solve. We did one that required only distribution and then solving. And then we did one that required distribution and combined like terms and getting your variables to one side and then solving. So this third one was definitely the most complicated one. The first one was the most easiest one. I want you to pause me now and try these 2 problems. This one right here, you want to look at example 1 above to help you. It's very similar in the fact that there's no distribution, there's no combining like terms. You've just got to get your variables to one side. And then I want you to try this one. For this one, you can use example 2 and 3 to help you. 3 is probably going to be the most important one. That's going to be the most similar. Okay, pause me, give these a whirl. Look at those to help you. If you get stuck, unpause me to help you get started. but then pause me again to try and finish. All right, see you in a second. All right, for the first one here, we have 7n minus 2, 5n plus 6. I can't simplify this side, there's nothing to do. I can't simplify the right side, there's nothing to do. So let me move to number 2, which is to just get our variables to one side. I'm going to move the smaller positive one and get 2n minus 2 equals 6. Add 2 to both sides, and get 2n equals 8. Divide by 2, n equals 4. 2's cancel, 2's cancel. Okay, next one, we have on our one side of our equal sign, we have parentheses, so we're going to start with distributing. 3 times b is going to be 3b. 3 times 6 is 18. We have that plus 7, and then 4b minus 1. Now we can combine like terms. I have a plus 18 and a plus 7. Okay, step 1 is done. Step 2, get our variables to one side. I'm going to subtract the 3b from both sides. Those cancel. 4 minus 3b is going to be just b minus 1. And then we get rid of the 1 by adding 1 to both sides. All right, check your work, see how you did. And then as soon as you finish getting down these two problems, I want you to go ahead and work on your independent practice. The two that you really need to focus on are 2 and 4. I am looking for you to get as far as you possibly can. I'd say please complete 1 through 4. That is what I'm going to be looking for in your work, complete 1 through 4. If those are too easy, I would like you to try 5, 6, and this spicy problem here. But for the rest of you, if you're not feeling spicy, do 1 through 4 for me, and then take your mastery check. Message me when your work is done. Good work. Let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead, complete 1 through 4. Use your notes to help you.